Hey guys, it's Shelby. Today I am going to be doing how I found out I was pregnant and how I told my family and friends and how Mike told his family. I'll be getting into that, of course, but how we told his family about it. First I'm going to start off by explaining how I found out I was pregnant. And I found out, I think, at the end of November that I was pregnant. Um, and I woke up and I felt really sick, but I thought it was my normal stomach ache I usually get when I first wake up from not eating. So I went to the bathroom, asked my dad for a gravel, and then I went back in the bed and I sat at the edge and I started to dry heave. Like, I didn't actually get sick; it was just dry heaving. That woke my boyfriend up, and he asked me what was wrong, and I told him I wasn't feeling well. And he said I think he thought I was pregnant, and I said I didn't know exactly. So I went back to bed, and then I woke up, and that night my dad left us alone. So before he left, I asked him for to keep a couple gravel here so I could take if I was feeling sick. So he did. I took about, I think, 2 gravel that day, um, throughout the whole day. But again, I didn't know I was pregnant at all. So I feel really bad about taking all of them because it could have hurt Hazel, but I didn't know. And then I slept through it the whole day. Like, I get up, talk to my boyfriend for like 2 to 5 minutes, and then end up falling asleep again. And I did that till about 12. And then I was wide awake after that, so I asked my boyfriend to make me something to eat to see if that would help. So he made me chicken soup, and after I took a few bites of that, I ended up getting sick, puking, and I couldn't eat anything after that. And then the next day, I think it was the next day, I woke up and I drank something and then I puked it back up. And that was it for the whole day. I would drink something, it would come right back up. So by the end of the day, I was totally dehydrated because I couldn't keep anything down for more than a few seconds. It would come right back up after I would drink it. But the next day, I didn't have any nausea. It was nausea, but it wasn't puking, like getting sick nausea. And then the day after that, I got sick a couple times, and I was kind of on a normal schedule. So a few days after that, my dad got me a first response pregnancy test. And I took that, and after the recommended time, which was like 3 minutes, I think, it didn't come up anything. It just had one line. Didn't even have that one line to say that I did it right and it was completed. So I ended up putting that in the garbage, and my boyfriend went through it, didn't go through the garbage, but went and got it out of the garbage, but there was nothing else in the garbage at the time, so it wasn't like he was digging through it. And when he looked at it and he called me in, and he said it was positive again. It was positive. It had the 2 lines, but that was like 3 hours later that we looked at it. So then I wasn't sure if it was faulty or if it was a faulty test, or if I did it wrong, or if it was actually right. So a few days after that, my dad got me these dollar store pregnancy tests, and I took those, and both of them came up positive. So we ended up making a doctor's appointment, and I found out later than I should have that I was pregnant. But every time we'd book an appointment, I would either be too sick to go, or my dad would be too sick, or they would rebook it. And that's how it was like throughout the whole thing. So finally, I got my appointment, and I went in, and they made me take a urine sample, and then they did the little pregnancy test, and they said I was pregnant. And at that time, I thought I was about 18 weeks along in my pregnancy, but I was actually 19 weeks. No, I was actually 17 weeks, so I was a week behind what I thought I was. So I was 17 weeks when I found out, and they said I'd just gotten pregnant, possibly just gotten pregnant because the one line was really faded. So after the nurse left and me and Mike were waiting for the doctor, I told him, like, I do not think I just got pregnant. because I've been having symptoms for a few months before I went to the doctors about it. And so he agreed with me, so we waited for the doctor, and he came in. My doctor came in and started to take my blood pressure and stuff, and then he felt my stomach to see if there was anything in there, and then he randomly just said that he was gonna see if we can find the heartbeat for the baby. So I'm like, okay. So he took the heart he got the little Doppler, put it on my stomach, and he moved it around a lot, and he finally found a heartbeat, and I didn't know what it was, and then he told us that was the heartbeat, and it was really fast. I was like, wow. I got kind of worried, because I'm like, what if that's not normal? I didn't think it was supposed to be that fast. So that's how I found out I was pregnant. My symptoms from early pregnancy was morning sickness, obviously. My boobs were really sore and tender. I was really tired. I had an aversion. My boyfriend smoked cigarettes before I got pregnant, and I could sit out there with him and watch him have a smoke and be with him, beside him when he was smoking, or smell it on him, and nothing would happen. I wouldn't get sick. But in my earlier in my pregnancy, when I first found out, I got really sick from the smell of it. So he couldn't go near me when he finished the smoke. He had to brush his teeth after, put cologne on, whatever, so I couldn't smell it. So those are all my symptoms. I also had a little bit of back pain, but it's not as bad as it is right now that I'm 28 weeks. So how I told my dad was pretty easy, because I live with just my dad, and I can pretty much tell him everything, because my parents split up, so I tell him pretty much everything. So I told him, I'm like, this can only be two things. It can either be pregnancy or the flu, and I was really set on the flu, because I really didn't want to be pregnant. Like, I'm not saying I regret getting pregnant at all, because I don't. I know that the award at the end is going to be amazing, and I'm excited. But at that time, I wasn't really sure exactly why. So after I told my dad that everything was positive, he bought me the test. So he's really supportive. He bought us a few things. I think he's really happy about it. My mom, on the other hand, I've never had a good relationship with my mom, and I think I mentioned that in a video. But even when my parents were together, we did not have a good relationship. So I didn't actually tell her myself, because she wouldn't talk to me. She wasn't talking to me at the time, so she was in Australia for my sister's wedding, and I was talking to my sister on the phone, and I told her, and I've had a pregnancy scare before with my ex-boyfriend, so she was really supportive and helped me through it, and I actually had more reason to believe I was pregnant this time than I did the last time, because I was just freaking about not having my period. But that was just because I was stressing out about it so much, which is really ironic, I think. I'm sorry, I'm kind of weird right now. But I told my sister, I'm like, I think I'm pregnant, and she was like, why do you think that? I told her about all my symptoms and everything I was getting, and then she talked to me about it and told me I should go to a doctor, and I said, yeah, I know I should. And then I asked her if she could tell mom, so she told my mom, and apparently my mom said she was going to be there and support me and everything, but that was just a little bullshit. I haven't talked to her for about 7-8 months now, that I really haven't talked to her, but oh well. I have Mike's family, who's really supportive, and my aunt. My dad just told my aunt over the phone, his sister, my aunt on his side, that he thought I was pregnant, and I still didn't know for sure if I was before I went for Christmas. So I was pretty 100% sure I was by then, though, because of the morning sickness and everything else was just coming. So I was pretty sure I was, and I still hadn't got my period by then. So my dad just told my aunt that he thought I was pregnant, and my aunt, she got pregnant at 16, and I had her first son when she was 16, so she knows how I feel about it and what I'm going through. And that side, whole other side of the family was really supportive too. My mom's side, they were disappointed, of course, but honestly, who wouldn't be? But they were supportive, of course. I just pretty much told my cousin. She was the first one I told on that side. And I said I thought I was pregnant, and she said she would be there and support me, and she's excited now too. And then I told my aunt and that I thought I was pregnant, and she said okay. So now that everyone's really supportive, Mike's family was a lot easier to tell because he's 20. So the only problem he would have with telling really his mom is the fact that I'm 17 and he's older. But he just told his mom that we think I'm pregnant. He thinks I'm pregnant, and she was really, I don't know how her reaction was at first, but she was really excited. She's really excited now, like, I'm not even kidding. I have never seen anyone so excited to be a grandmother than her. It's like it's her first time becoming one, but she has other grandkids. So she's really excited, and his dad, I don't know what his dad feels about it, how his dad feels, but everyone else in his family is really supportive. And a lot of his friends are really supportive, and 2 of my friends are really supportive, or 3 of them. But the 2 other ones I had ended up dumping me because I got pregnant, so that's fine. I still have some friends left behind from it, and that's pretty much how I told everybody and how I found out. So I'll let you guys go. If you guys have any questions or comments, then write below, and I'm gonna try to give advice in this video before I turn it off. If you are 16 and pregnant and you having trouble telling your parents, it's just easier to get it. In my opinion, this is just what I think. My opinion is it's better to get it over with as soon as possible, because it might be harder when you're further along. So you need to get that extra support or extra help, because without your parents you can't really get, especially if people live out in the States with the insurance and everything. Like I'm lucky I live in Canada, so if I didn't want to tell my dad, I could have went by myself and did it because of my health card. But with people in the States, you have to have insurance and stuff, so it's definitely harder to get an OB and stuff in the States than it is here. So if you're pregnant, just come right out and just do it as soon as you want to. But it also, you need to be ready to tell your parents. Just try not to wait for too long. I know that's not really good advice, but that's just what I would do. So if you guys have any comments or questions, just comment below, and I will put my social sites below too. So my Twitter, I think, is Hazel's Mommy, Hazel. I'm not exactly sure of the number, but I'm pretty sure something Hazel's Mommy. I have a horrible memory with all this stuff, and I just created that. So I'll make sure I put them below too when I upload this, and you can follow me on Twitter, and I will follow back. So please subscribe, rate, and comment. And I really appreciate everybody who is watching and subscribed to me already. Thank you guys so much for following me on this journey. And I really cannot wait for you guys all to meet Hazel when she's born. I will be doing a couple postpartum videos, and I'll do few updates with her too. So I'm excited for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later.